The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
523 already gave away one set of Winona tickets. When and before you can buy them. They go on sale to the general public today at 10. If you paid extra to be a fan club member, you could got them yesterday. I watched the entire ACM Awards last night, unless I had to run to the bathroom. Lainey Wilson killed it. She started off with one group and did God Bless Texas, and then got onto the stage with a big band, I think background singers, and the band was 7 or 8, called Hang Tight Honey. If this was my company, we'd be playing that song today. Because it's hot and it's fresh, it's upbeat. Yeah, and she's the hottest thing going. She won Entertainer of the Year, also female artist.
Imagine that. Mark really likes a Wilson, everybody. Oh, man. Wow.
Well, things work out. You don't have to change initials on the luggage.
That's right. There you go.
Low point for me, I'm just not a Reba fan. I just didn't care to have her there.
But see, you were a Reba fan.
I like some of her stuff.
Yeah.
But
then you started hanging out with me.
And like you, I think she's too hokey.
Me too.
Give me somebody that's more of a, I don't even know what the word is.
Well, and they how can I do this delicately?
Paul, you don't do anything delicately, so just hit me in the face with it.
Well, it's kind of like when your mom keeps pushing green beans on you.
Great analogy, actually.
And you can eat them, but you don't like them. And it gets to the point where, would you stop pushing the green beans on me? Mm-hmm. And for me, that was Reba. TV, movies, everything, and TV series, and she wasn't that great of an actress. Mm-mm. And yet they just pushed and pushed and pushed, and I like some of her songs too. I like some of them.
And they were promoting before the show that Reba had new music. They didn't let her come out and do her song until after the Entertainer of the Year award was given, which I've never seen before. Usually the Entertainer of the Year, that's it. That's the end of the show. Yeah. That's the big one for the night.
It's like the Lincoln Reagan Day dinner. They should have had Tim Sheehy give his speech first instead of at the very end when they had already lost everyone.
Right. He's the biggest hitter out of everybody in the room in the most important race.
Exactly.
Group of the Year, Old Dominion, 7th year in a row. But
that makes sense.
It does. Well, this is who they're up against. Flatland Cavalry.
Who?
I know. Lady A, who I don't know if they put anything out last year. Same with Little Big Town. And Zach Brown hasn't had a new radio single in years. That song that Nate Smith did with Avril Lavigne was a good song. Not terribly country, but a good song. High five to Paul Mushaven in clarifying the difference between Song of the Year and Single. And Song of the Year was Fast Car. No, Single of the Year.
Single of the Year, Fast Car.
Right, and Song of the Year went to Jordan Davis, which is...
That's a good song.
That surprised me a little bit because he's still so brand new.
Yep.
But you got to remember, too, my thinking is all these winners, there's a little bit of something. Like they're banking on, okay, we think Jordan Davis is going to be here a while, so let's give him an award. His first 3 or 4 songs, really good. And hearing his acceptance speech, I really like him. Folks, I got to tell you who changed my mind about them altogether. That freaking Jelly Roll is awesome. He is a great guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's pretty down to earth. He's humbled by his success. Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. So, did Jordan Davis win Song of the Year for...
Next Thing You Know.
Next Thing You Know. Yeah. That was a good song.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. I don't believe that Chris Stapleton should have been male vocalist of the year again. There were some other artists that had just a superb year, but he's a fan favorite.
Well, and Paul, the one thing you and I don't know, the numbers on the downloads and streaming, because that factors in now.
Yeah. Well, like we brought up earlier in the week, how is AI now going to work into the awards? Mm-hmm. Because that song from Randy Travis is really, really good. And are they going to have the AI production company of the year or something along those lines? You don't know.
How did Morgan Wallen not win anything?
I don't know that. He set all kind of records for download, streaming, album sales, everything. Mm-hmm. But he did throw a chair out the window that landed in front of a policeman.
One of the good bits from the presenters was Ashley McBryde. And quite frankly, folks, I don't watch watch TV like I did 30 years ago. So a lot of these presenters, a couple were from Amazon Prime series that I'd never heard of. But Ashley McBride and another guy came out and did a little farce about throwing the chair off of Eric Church's balcony. It was really cute, really well done. Duo of the year: Brooks and Dunn, Brothers Osborne, Dan and Shay, Maddie and Tay, War and Treaty. Maddie and Tay, nothing new for a couple years. Brooks and Dunn, nothing new forever.
No.
Brothers Osborne, nothing new lately.
No.
The War and Treaty hasn't had a hit.
Did they win?
No, but you can't be nominated if you haven't had a hit. Not one hit.
Yeah.
But Dan and Shay, folks, I click them out all the time. I just don't think they're country.
Yeah.
But they're selling downloads, and they're popular with that younger demographic, and they sound a little bit like Rascal Flatts, who hung it up. So there's a space. We need them.
Who got new artists? Tim McGraw?
Megan Moroney.
Megan Moroney.
She was kind of a hands downer. New male.
She was up for a lot of awards.
Yeah. Album of the year, I can never comment because I don't listen to all the albums anymore. And then Jelly Roll and Laney won for Save Me, and that's where Jelly Roll gave his speech about Broad Shooter Tears.
He's trying to lose weight, too, which is good because he's a very big man.
Yes, he is.
So did the show flow?
It flowed well for
Did it?
as many acts as they had, and they had a couple of different stages and moving people in.
That's
and out.
big.
It is.
It's got to flow or you lose people.
And Chris Stapleton duetted with Dua Lipa with a big orchestra. That was pretty well done. I didn't know. I've heard her name, but I don't know what she sings. Great voice, and those two together, that was a good performance.
Hey, outside of Faith Hill, he gave me, I think, one of my favorite national anthems I ever heard when he did the Super Bowl national anthem.
Yeah.
Gosh darn, man, he hit a home run on that one.
Such a unique voice.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think the CMAs are probably still, though, the big ones, don't you?
I do. Well, and there's too many country awards shows.
Yeah, there is.
CMT Flameworthy, People Magazine's People's Choice.
Yeah, the CMT awards, all those. Yeah, you dilute you dilute an award if you keep offering more. God, they did that. There are more dang awards when my kids were in school for players and best teammate, best, most inspirational, most improved, most valuable, best offensive, best defensive. I mean, best dressed.
I remember in second grade, because one of the things with my daughter was I'd sit and help her with her spelling words. Spelling was always kind of my thing. And I remember sitting in an award ceremony on a hot afternoon, and she's 97th in line to get her certificate for being a good speller. And I'm thinking, isn't one of the things you're supposed to be good at when you go to school is spelling?
Yeah. Mark's doing the spelling, folks, because I listen to him write his articles, and he spells the word out loud while I'm sitting here trying to type. Anthem is ridiculous capital.
If you haven't had time, you might want to check out my article on tomato slices on hamburgers.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God.
I'll bet it's big.
It's embarrassing.
I'll bet it's big. Headline in the paper today: child care money coming. It's babysitting. And it's funny because yesterday I read all about it and I saved it for today.
Okay.
And I knew it, and sure as hell, I knew it would show up in there today, and it did. Remember, folks, child care is a term that the liberals came up with because if you say child care, no one in America would be against caring for children.
Right.
But if you say babysitting, which is what it is, nobody wants to pay for anybody else's babysitting.
I don't owe you babysitting.
No. So they came up with childcare, and it's babysitting is what it is. When you watch somebody else's child for them so they can go do something else that is on a bigger priority list for them, that's babysitting. Mm-hmm. It's babysitting. If you have your mom or your mother-in-law come over and watch your kids while you go to work, that's babysitting. Mm-hmm. But if you have somebody else watch your kids while you go to work, Democrats call it child care. See, they sell it. It's a word spin. I talk about them all the time. You know, Donald Trump, hush money trial. It's not a hush money trial. It was a non-disclosure agreement is what it was. But everybody, it doesn't have the impact if you say hush money. If you say hush, it implies something different. Mm-hmm. That's why they've done child care that way. We'll talk about it in a minute. I want to see if this else in here? Hold on a second.
Your buddy got another editorial.
That's what I was looking for. Oh, yeah. Once again, it's Friday, and it's time for Mary Sheehy Mo, now living in Missoula. Every week, she gets one.
That's not responsible journalism if you feature one person.
Yeah. Crazy since the last legislative session. Over 132,000 Montanans have lost their health insurance. She blasts Zinke. God. She loves illegal immigrants. Good. Then you house them. Put them in your backyard. You pay for them. I don't. I don't want to pay for them. I don't want to pay for anything they get for breaking the law. Facts. Illegal immigrants are less likely to be arrested. Mary Sheehy Mo, you know how ridiculous that sentence sounds. Illegal immigrants less likely to be arrested. But if they're illegal immigrants, they committed a crime. And she says illegal immigrants commit fewer crimes than native-born Americans. Not if they're an illegal immigrant. They've already broke one. We have a federal law. You are not allowed to enter this country illegally. See? Think about what you just wrote. You're a writer. Illegal immigrants commit less crime. Not if they're an illegal immigrant. That's a crime. That's a crime. These immigrants decide a chance at hope beats the certainty of despair. They're leaving everything they've ever known to stay alive. God bless them. You pay for them. They need to enter legally. That's what they need to do. Enter legally. This woman, they give her, well, we know why. Oh, everybody gets a week, Mark. It's National Stuttering Week.
Say that again.
1 in every 100 people stutter.
There's an old joke about that.
Oh, and I'm sure you know it.
Well, a guy who's got a big truckload of Bibles wants to sell them, puts an ad in the paper, they're looking for Bible salesmen. This guy shows up for the job, and the guy says, "Well, what are your qualifications?" He goes, "Well, I'm good with people." He said, "Well, nobody else has showed up, so you get the job." So he gave the guy a couple boxes, 500 Bibles. He was back at the end of the day. He said, "How many did you sell?" He said, "All of them." He goes, "You're kidding me." He said, "No, I just knock on the door and say, would you like to buy one of these Bibles, or would you like me to read it to you?"
That's what you get on the Flakes trip, folks. Loads and loads of that from Wilson. Loads and loads.
Breaking news, world number one golfer Scottie Scheffler has been detained by police in handcuffs after a misunderstanding with traffic flow led to his attempt to drive past police at the Valhalla Golf Club. The police officer attempted to attach himself to Scheffler's car, and Scheffler then stopped. Police officer then began to scream at Scheffler to get out of the car, and when he exited the vehicle, the officer shoved Scheffler against the car, immediately placed him in handcuffs. He's now being detained in the back of a police car.
Why?
For going past what the police are trying to stop you at a wreck.
Well, nobody's above the law.
Well, if I was Scheffler, I'd turn to that cop and say, "Didn't you see me hole out from 163 yards on number 2 yesterday?"
Oh, gosh. Well, he's in some hot water then.
Well, I don't care how good you are or how calm you are. Being handcuffed and put in a cop car is going to affect your psyche on a day when you got to get your mind straight to play golf.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And he was one of the early tee times today, 8:48 Eastern time.
Well, he's probably going to be late for that, I'm guessing.
I think you're just out in the pros. Now, if I had an 11:20 with Jay Burns and I don't get there till 11:45, I got to grab some beer, then can one of you guys run me out to whatever hole they're on? It doesn't work like that.
Didn't Scottie Scheffler set a course record or something yesterday?
No.
What did he do?
He's 4 or 5 under. I'm trying to think of the kid's name.
Schauffele.
Xander
That's
Schauffele.
what I meant. Yeah, Schauffele.
In majors, there have been 4 62s shot in the history of the game, and Schauffele has 2 of them.
I was tired. I didn't sleep well. And then I was out late last night because some guy that leases land out by us decided to put his cows and bulls in yesterday right next to the fence where all my heifers are.
Oh, well, that's nice.
And I don't turn my bulls out in my heifer. So I called the guy. I said, "Look, I've been here 45 years, and I know Witchface and John Tester don't like me because I've only been here 45 years. And if you've only been here 45 years, you don't deserve to be here. Start a family, money, start a business. They don't believe in that. But at least you could give me a day or two notice so I can get things the hell away from you. He's got some runt-looking things in there, and I don't want that. I don't want to be calving the 10th of February. So I got dressed again, went out about 8:30 and moved my heifers out of there and out of the pasture and over into a different one. And then I had some other Nimrod. He built some fence and took my wire and just threw it in the middle of my pasture. And I had to gather that all up or they'll get it all tangled up in their legs and everything. So, yeah, I had a late night last night. Tell me. Just tell me. Yeah, the article today in the paper, folks, about babysitting. Montana's going to get $32 million of your dollars to make babysitting more accessible for the low-income families.
That's discriminatory.
Why? Folks, once again, why in the hell are we paying for everything for everyone anymore?
Because we're buying votes, Paul.
I know it. We never paid for babysitting for people in America. Never. But we do now. And people earn more money now.
Under the B7.
Ready for some fun? Join the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center for Bingo on Friday, May 31st. Bingo! Huge cash jackpots and great prizes. Come back Monday, June 3rd, as Dave Austin takes you on a journey through the 2000s with throwback music trivia. The Blue Cat is now serving up mouth-watering prime rib every Saturday alongside their legendary steaks. And speaking of legends, try their loaded Bloody Marys. There's always something going on at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, just 9 minutes east of the Metro exit.
Than they've ever earned before. Costs are up. You know why? Because the guy you vote for that likes to give you money for babysitting, all that money is boosting inflation. Same amount of money or same amount of goods, but more money chasing them. In this state with a persistent babysitting shortage, rural areas face a 55% gap between parents who need babysitting and the number of babysitters available. And people that want to take advantage of this and use it, they hate you for the fact that you call it babysitting. But it is. It's babysitting. There are 1,040 licensed providers in the state capable of providing babysitting for 22,000 kids. There are 44,000 children under the age of 6 with working parents. So, counties with the largest gaps in babysitting, Yellowstone and Missoula counties. States receive money on a 3-year cycle for babysitting. Montana legislators allocated $7 million of your state tax dollars for babysitting last year. 2,680 Montana families are using the Best Beginning Scholarship program that they have. You know why college tuition is so high, folks? Because the government loans money, any amount, to any kid who is 18 years old to go anywhere they want. Any amount.
There's no negotiation.
Any amount. So if you were a college, why wouldn't you charge $10,000 a year to go to college? They get the money. So when the government is going to start paying for babysitting, instead of getting $1.50 an hour that babysitters got or used to get, now they probably, I don't know what the average hourly rate for babysitting is now. But all of these babysitting businesses that are out there, since there's so much government money that will be paid out, what do you think's going to happen to their rate? It's going to be like the college tuition. Well, it's going to be $40 a day to babysit your child for 6 hours. And the people that go there, they don't care because the government is going to pay for the babysitting. So they're going to raise the rate. Do you folks know that we have a child care bureau now?
Didn't know that.
A babysitting chief. Another agency. See? Another agency. And she works for an agency that's under the DPHHS. And that's the Department of Health and Human Services. Another agency. Affordability, though, continues to be the top concerns for parents and providers alike that provide babysitting. Federal government does not require states waive the copays for parents that make 150% of the federal poverty level. Montana doesn't plan on making modifications to the plan at this time. I got an idea. Instead of using your money, folks, instead of using your money to pay for babysitting, here's a great idea. Why don't we let the people who are eligible for it keep their federal tax dollars and then pay for their own?
I like that.
Why don't we let them do it that way? No. We're still going to collect them, and then we will distribute them and have them. What we're doing is taking their money out of their wallet, and then we're giving you your money back to you, but only through babysitting. That way, we look like the good guy. We get your vote, but in essence, you're still paying for it. The public and other American citizens in this country, hardworking Americans, should not have to pay for other people's babysitting.
Not at all. I'm paying for your king crab legs and prime rib. I shouldn't have to pay for your babysitting.
I'll bet you all the illegal immigrants, 25 million of them in the United States, that have multiple children who work, they're eligible for government babysitting. We went 240 years in this nation without government babysitting. 240 years we went without government babysitting. Now we got government babysitting. And we wonder why we have problems with our kids. So many people, so many babysitters that are in charge of raising your children.
That's the fact.
They're raising your children at the most important part of their life, the most impressionable ages of their life when they're young. They learn then. You got a 4 or 5 year old, you drop them off for babysitting, 7 in the morning. You pick them up at 5:30 at night. You go home, you feed them. They're in bed in 2 hours. Boy, you had a real quality day with that child, didn't you? And I know it makes people mad, but that's what it is. It's babysitting. Babysitting is so somebody can do something else that they think is more important. What if you work at night? What if you work at overnight shift at the refinery? People at that point, they find their own people to take care of their children.
Have to.
Because these babysitting places, they close at 6 o'clock. So it's only important that we offer babysitting till 6. What if they work at night? What if they're a policeman? He's got shift work. Single parent. No babysitting. How do they do it? But we're paying for it. We're all paying for it. Pay your own.
The way it should be.
Yeah, they're your children. You're responsible for them. What's next? We going to pay for dinners at night for everybody? Why not pay for dinner? Pay for dinner for people who work. They work all day, Mark. They don't get home till 6 o'clock. They don't have time to put dinner together. So we need dinner centers where you can go and the government will pay for your dinner. Same thing. We need a dinner center. Paying for your babysitting, and we'll pay for your dinner because you're working and you don't have time. Okay, I'll have dinner centers then. We're broke, folks. We're broke. But they'll never, ever let you keep your money so you can afford to buy the things that you need.
True.
That's how capitalism works. It's not the government. And that's why the Biden administration and these Democrats, John Tester included, going to let the Trump tax cuts expire in April, and your taxes are going to go up. Well, that's not fair. Well, we got government babysitting now. We got to pay for all this stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. We already have government babysitting for most of you when your kids get into school anyway.
Good point. And we already have government dinner
Available there.
You just have to cook it yourself currently.
Pretty much.
Under the B7.
Ready for some fun? Join the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center for Bingo on Friday, May 31st. Bingo! Huge cash jackpots and great prizes. Come back Monday, June 3rd, as Dave Austin takes you on a journey through the 2000s with throwback music trivia. The Blue Cat is now serving up mouth-watering prime rib every Saturday alongside their legendary steaks. And speaking of legends, try their loaded Bloody Marys. There's always something going on at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, just 9 minutes east of the Metro exit.
We're giving away these Winona tickets, and everything's electronic now, folks. And we're getting your email, and they're going to send you an e-ticket. We talked about this before. I've used e-tickets on my phone for flying, and I kind of like them actually. You don't have to worry about boarding passes, and did I throw away my connecting flight boarding pass when you look in your bag or something? You panic. You always are looking for that boarding ticket, and but everything is electronic now. But when everything's electronic, there's always scamming out there. People can always steal things if it's an electronic. If it's on your phone, anything like that, they can get in. Mark and I, we talked all one day about it. The stuff that shows up on our feeds, on our Facebook pages after we talk about it in the morning. They're listening, and then they send us all of those things on our Facebook pages. They're listening. Scamming. scammers are out there. It's easy to get into electronic stuff. So much so they had to come up with new technology now to protect your car because all these cars are using wireless key fobs and push button starters. The technology made it more convenient for you to get into your vehicle, but now it actually made things easier for thieves than the old systems, the old cars. It's easier now. So now what are they suggesting? Now they suggest that you get a signal blocker or a physical lock that then attaches to the steering wheel.
For crying out loud.
Because it's so easy with technology and all of these electronics and things to duplicate codes, the message that the key fobs send to get into your car, The wireless fob that you have continues to emit a signal even if you're not using it. I didn't know that. You got it with you? It just emits a signal. So these thieves now, they just drive around looking for cars that are parked outside so they can carry out what they call a relay attack. They have a little equipment that they have that can pick up a faint signal from a fob that's inside your home or inside a store. What it does, it relays the signal back to their transmitter and then they can clone that. And there you go. They get into your car. They can start it. It's like they have the key fob then right there. Use a signal blocker. This is so we could drive a car. Use the signal blocker. Stops bandits from being able to get your key fob signal. You can use a Faraday bag or a pouch. They're lined with metal that blocks transmission or electromagnetic signals. This is what we do. Rather than cutting the testicles off of a car thief.
Right.
That'll protect us. No, we add more problems for all of the people who are not committing the crimes. They recommend, too, that you test these pouches to make sure they work. You put the key fob inside and approach your car, and then if the doors don't automatically unlock, you know the signal's being blocked. The things that clamp to the steering wheel, they work. Who wants to live their life like that?
No, nobody.
I don't. For a lot of cars, it is possible to deactivate the wireless setting so you cannot open the door remotely. If you have a Ford, Honda, or Audi, you can use the touchscreen menu on your car to do that. If you have a Toyota, you can disable the signal by holding down the fob's lock button at the same time pressing the unlock button twice. If you've done it correctly, the fob's indicator light should then blink 4 times. Okay. This is what we have to do, folks, now in the modern era so people can't steal our cars. Automakers now have started adding motion sensors to your key fob. If the sensor does not detect any recent movement because, say, you've got the keys hanging up in the kitchen or on the kitchen counter, then that fob will go automatically into sleep mode. Folks, this is everything that they can do and know and can control with your key fob. Imagine what else they are doing in your TV sets. Remember how people ridiculed me about that for years? Learning, watching. Automakers are working to improve security systems for your car. Aftermarket electronic immobilizer systems, that should render a criminal theft tool useless then. They won't be able to pick your signal. And you might even get a discount on your auto insurance. Maybe. Highly unlikely. They do not like discounting anything anymore. But technology, good and bad. And you know what's sad, folks? A lot of these car thieves probably were babysat their whole life. But here's the thing. These thieves like that, they're smart enough to know how to do this. Just think if they would have used those skills and tools productively.
Yeah, but when you steal stuff, Paul, you don't have a boss.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And you work the hours you want to work.
That's a good point. Always got a nice clean car.
Right.
Don't pay taxes on it. None of that kind of stuff. But got to watch it if you have a key fob, and because they can pick up that signal and duplicate it. That's just crazy. Crazy. And there's certain makes and models that they really like. They take them to pack shops and stuff like that. And
well, what was it, 20 years ago, me and a buddy went up to Bozeman to see Elton John, and he had a brand new Ford pickup, and they changed the door locks for that particular year. And if you knew it, you could walk up to any new Ford that year with a screwdriver, work just like a key.
Yeah. Changing world, technology, AI, and now email tickets on the Flake Show. I'm not sure you and I can ever go to a concert again.
Paul and I are taking the last week of the month off, and it's not like the old days here where you say, I want to be gone such and such. So I texted the boss, and she comes in, she goes, well, can you put that in Exponent, which is what we use for that? And Paul and I both said no. She goes, why not? I said, well, we can't get in there.
Yeah. I don't even know my password.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.